Okay, today I'm going to be talking about Game of Thrones. As you know, the third episode is about to get out, so I'm going to be analyzing the first and the second episode. I mean, I've got no choice. I try to talk to a chick on the streets, she's talking Game of Thrones. You're at work, people talking Game of Thrones. So I'll ditch Manchester United for now and concentrate on the show. Okay guys, so let's just say Daenerys is not going to make it. I think that chick has got way too much heat on her, way too much heat. She's got Sansa on her case, she's got Cersei on her case, Jon Snow probably is on her case too, and probably Arya with the way she looks at her. So the show has got a way of dealing with people who are cocky. I mean, take a look at Prince Oberyn, how his head got popped like a melon because he was busy trying to swag it out on that battlefield instead of doing the job. You look at probably the most annoying dude in the whole show, the High Sparrow. I was glad when that dude was blown up, but I didn't like how Marjorie was also blown up because, you know, I've got a soft spot for that chick. She looks like my ex. You're also looking at Robert Baratheon and how he was dealt with for being cocky. Looking at Stannis, you're also thinking of the likes of, let's see, we mentioned Prince Oberyn, Robert Baratheon. Anyway, doesn't matter. Cocky people get dealt with on this show, and Daenerys is heading down that path. I mean, damn. Anyway, on the show we're also going to be talking about the other characters and how they're probably going to fare. We're also going to be looking at potential conflicts. You're talking maybe Theon versus Yara. You're looking at Cersei versus Jaime. You're looking at something also interesting like Tormund, who wants the big woman, and Jaime, because Jaime sort of like stole a march on Tormund, on Bran. And even though many people are not seeing this, I see a love-making scene coming up there. So I'm going to explain how we're going to get to all that. Also, at the end, I'm going to reveal who I think are my dark horses. These are people I think are flying under the radar and might actually make a play for the throne. I mean, one of these people actually showed their intent in a way that most people didn't notice in episode 2, and I'm going to reveal all this. So stick with me to the end. Stay tuned, guys, because it's the critique, and I'm about to get down to business. Okay, so this is why Daenerys is going to get popped. Right, she's got way too much heat, way too much enemies in the hood. I mean, we start with Sansa. When Daenerys rolled up to Winterfell with the dragons and all, Sansa was like, damn. Right, it's like some chick rolled up in the club with the Bentley, she's wearing Louis Vuitton, and you've got your thrift shop outfit or the dress that your grandma gave you on Christmas, right? She didn't like that. And you know, some of these chicks get real salty, and she's gonna be plotting to deal with Daenerys. I mean, they started actually clashing heads when Jaime was stating his case, trying to join the clique, right? Sansa actually sided with Jon and sided with Jaime, etc, etc. That's where the beef started. You also see Sansa talking to Tyrion and telling him that, hey, it's good that you're a hand, but it depends on whose hand you are. She's probably just trying to say, hey, your queen is a pigeon. Also note that Jon Snow mentioned that Sansa is actually smarter than she lets on, and if you actually look at the history of this chick, she's managed to survive against the odds in the hood. I mean, you've got Baelish as an example, who's now not getting a paycheck thanks to trying to actually backstab Sansa. You've got Joffrey and a whole bunch of people who crossed her. People who crossed Sansa end up dead. So that's one person who's got heat on Daenerys. Let's see who's next. Daenerys has got problems with Jon Snow. I mean, you know, they're in love and all that, but with us men, or at least some of us, money and the power always comes before the chicks. I mean, booty is booty, but when you got money and the power, you can get even more booty. So I'm thinking this is the logic that Jon Snow is using, seeing himself sitting on the Iron Throne with all those chicks, all those parties, all that money, all that gold and everything. So you know, at some point they're going to clash, and Jon Snow has got the backing of the North. So Daenerys has got Sansa with heat on her, Jon Snow with heat on her, and with Jon Snow comes heat from the Northmen, you know, who follow the King of the North. They're actually following Daenerys just because, you know, Jon Snow's like, hey dudes, just chill out, let's follow this chick, cause chick has got some dragons and whatnot. It's like you're in the hood and you've got some nines, and you know, Daenerys comes through with the bazooka and some tanks and stuff like that. So it's fear which actually has Daenerys being followed by these guys. But as soon as Jon Snow rebels against her, know that the Northmen are going to rebel against her. Lady Mormont and a bunch of other guys. So that's Daenerys, Jon Snow. Daenerys is having a go at Tyrion. Tyrion is being chipped at slowly, and we don't know how that's gonna end up. She's actually trying to get to a situation where she's beefing with Tyrion. Okay, so in trouble. Another source of Daenerys' power, one of the main sources of power and clout in the hood, are her dragons, right? First of all, dudes in the hood don't know that one of them was popped. Remember when Tyrion was actually making the case for Daenerys at Winterfell, he said she had 2 dragons. He didn't actually tell the dudes that the other one got capped by the Night King, right? When they find that out, they're gonna say, you know what, these dragons ain't as bad as we think they are. So her power will start to diminish. Also, looking at those dragons, they're not chowing right now, right? Take them to McDonald's, they're only eating the chips, they're not eating the burger, they're not eating the veggies, probably not taking their drink because Daenerys said they don't like the north. We don't know whether or not they're actually acclimatized to the north, but that's another situation. Also, what you have to note about these dragons is they're not very loyal and they're prone to bad behavior. Remember, they left her the last time out there and she was actually taken by the Dothraki, right? And they also are said to be intelligent animals. They also remember when she was busy chaining them up below that other joint, I don't know, that other city that other time, right? So it's another thing to note about these dragons. And more importantly, remember when Daenerys was having a Frenchie with Jon Snow. Jon Snow checked out the dragon was looking at him like, right? That look, guys, that look was the dragon saying, dude, I know you're Targaryen and you're busy chowing your sister, what's with that, dude? Right? And since they're said to be intelligent and connected to everybody from, what's that place south of the V? Valyria or somewhere there. Since they're connected to everybody there, they know Jon Snow is the real deal, right? And they might actually know that he's got a better claim than Daenerys to the throne, since they say to be magical animals and all that stuff that you people like to tell us when you're trying to explain how they actually do what they do, right? So you've got a chance of these dragons bailing out on Daenerys and actually following Jon Snow, because that's what they do. They ride with these dragon lords or whatever you guys call them. Okay, so her main weapon, which are the dragons, can actually end up being a problem for her. Who knows, we might actually have a nice scene when they actually come up and fry her themselves, you know, Kentucky Fried Chicken style. Right, another problem for Daenerys is Cersei in the south. I mean, Cersei is the most murderous chick that this earth has ever seen, and you know she's got game on the streets. When she puts her eye on you, you're going down. So she's probably cooking up some wildfire that's going to turn Daenerys' extensions from silver to green. That's the other problem she's got to deal with. So she's looking forward in the north and she's looking backward in the south. I don't think 2 dragons is enough for Cersei and the Gold Company and Euron and all the other stuff that she's bringing, and all the stuff that she thought she would bring, like elephants. I don't know what she wanted with the elephants. So Cersei is another of Daenerys' problems. So right now we've got Sansa, Jon Snow, Tali, Cersei, and everybody else that I might have mentioned earlier. Daenerys is also running a mouth. There's that time when Tyrion said he wants to go and fight, and she was like, you know what, there's so many of them and there's one of you. I think she said that in front of a bunch of dudes, and that's not going to play well for politics. Somebody needs to smack that mouth. She's running that mouth, that party mouth. That's going to get her into a lot of trouble too, as she's actually getting enemies day in, day out every time she opens that trap. Okay, so let's see what actually she can do to defend herself, right? She's got the Dothraki. But one thing that the guys at HBO didn't do is tell us what the Dothraki thought about the death of a dragon. I mean, she went out there acting like a hero and didn't come back with one of the dragons. And you know the Dothraki dudes follow power. They're like gang members, right? So as soon as you show that you're weak, they start doubting your ass, right? Like they did with Khal Drogo. HBO didn't show us what they thought about the death of the dragon. But someone somewhere in that clan is probably thinking this pigeon's dragon is dead, so she's not as invincible as she thinks she is, right? So question mark on the Dothraki and defending actually Daenerys. Also, you look at the Unsullied. Yeah, nothing really wrong with the Unsullied. I think they've got her back, even though Gregor is a bit distracted. Sidebar. Do Did you notice that Gregor has got a bump, right? Just before he actually kissed Miss Sunday and actually went, marching out of the place like Winterfell, like marching to the wall like the baddest niggas. Like, there was a bump. Somebody should create a meme for that. So he might have lost the stones, but he's got the pillar. So another thing I'm wondering, why was he doing the cunnilingus in that love-making scene in the previous season when he's got a pillar? Something is wrong there, but there's something down there. Not everything was taken off, right? And actually, eunuchs in Game of Thrones, still on the sidebar, actually I think they take the stones and leave the pillar, because if you notice the way Tyrion actually goes after Varys all the time, right? He's always talking about the balls, not the pillar. So Qyburn got something Miss Sunday can twerk on. Whether he can get it up, something else. Anyway, Unsullied, check. Dothraki, question mark. The dragons, I've already talked about the dragons. Right now, they're all up in the club, doing drugs, taking weed, misbehaving, waking up late, not eating, and they've shown that they're not loyal. So of the three major forces Daenerys has, she can only count on the Unsullied, in my opinion, right now, without any question. Then she's got Sansa on a case, Jon Snow on a case, Samuel Tully on a case. Oh yeah, let's talk about Samuel Tully. Tully is a brainiac and is a sort of like pseudo warrior. You do know he popped that White Walker and is all up in the library reading the books, right? And is conspiring against Daenerys. He already told Jon Snow about his whatever is the whole reason why these guys are up against each other. So it's Sansa, Jon Snow, Tully, and with Jon Snow you're going to get Sansa. With Sansa you're going to get Brienne. With Brienne you're going to get Jaime, right? And you've got Arya, who's loyal to Jon Snow. With Arya you're going to get Gendry, because she gave Gendry some, right? And you know how us dudes act after we get some from a chick. We're going to be under her spell, so Gendry will do whatever Arya wants him to do. If she tells Gendry to go after Daenerys, you never know what's going to happen. So it's looking pretty stacked up against Daenerys right now. And more importantly, the side that is loyal to her, which are the Unsullied, are outside the gate in the tents, right? So they probably might not be able to get to her before she gets popped. Jon Snow can act all lovey-dovey and get her in her drawers, in the bedroom, seduce the chick, love the chick, feel up on the chick, kiss the chick, undress the chick, get the chick into the bed, and boom, with the knife to the side. Some other sad story can actually come out of that. So that's why I think Daenerys is going to make it. Now let's move on to Cersei, the most murderous woman on earth. Okay, let's take a look at Cersei Murder Lannister, the most murderous chick on earth, right? She's got this thing going on with Euron. Euron is a very important part of the script and might actually be the reason why Cersei goes to meet the gods, whatever gods she actually, follows. Why? She's using Euron's Iron Fleet by giving him some, using the booty power of the booty. As you can see, Euron thinks with what's down in his pants, not with his brains. And right now, she's having him believe that, he's gonna put a baby in her, right? She's already got that, right? So he doesn't need to waste the swimmers. But I think she's not gonna tell him that it's Jaime's kid. She's gonna let him roll with the thought that he's made her pregnant, right? And since this dude is cocky as hell, he's gonna think, you know what? I fired the queen up, I lit her up. She's pregnant like that, right? Now, why does she want to do that? She obviously wants Euron's Iron Fleet, right? To fight against whatever the White Walkers or whatever. But in addition to that, right, an important part that people might not see, like I already touched on, Daenerys probably going down in the north, right, Winterfell. And if she goes down and manages to escape, if Jon Snow doesn't use the whole bedroom maneuver I was talking about earlier, Daenerys is going to defect to the Iron Islands. And guess who's going to be waiting to fry her up in the sea? That's going to be Euron, under the promise of being a father to the queen's son, right? And then after that, you might see a clash between Euron and Cersei. So Cersei, the most murderous on earth, leader of all the gangsters, is going to use Euron to that effect. It's going to be effective for her, but at some point, it might actually cost her. But, that's a 50-50 speculative type of statement, so let's just leave it at that. Okay, so Euron is potentially Cersei's problem, right? Because in addition to the whole baby feud that's definitely going to come up, Euron also said to Yara that if Cersei doesn't deliver, wada, he's going to take his iron fleet elsewhere. So his loyalty for Cersei is not like 100%. But there's that snake, Qyburn, right? Qyburn is flying under the radar. He would have made Dark Horse for me, but I just decided to leave him because, because I want to. It's my show, right? Qyburn is also another source of power for Cersei. Right? Why do I say that? Because it's Gregor Clegane. Right? He's a source of power for her and also potentially a source of power against this chick. Why am I saying that? Sir Gregor Clegane has been responsible for protecting Cersei. He's got access to Cersei. He's always next to Cersei. Cersei trusts Clegane. Now I'm thinking, for such a murderous chick, how did she not get to actually come up with a plan B there? Because she didn't even question how this old Barley made Clegane what he is today. Right? He's that dude who's been opening up people and finding out about what's going on in the brain and all that. And she didn't even ask him questions. Right? This Qyburn dude can actually have power over Clegane. And if Qyburn decides to eliminate Cersei, for whatever reason, she can use Clegane. Maybe he actually knows some antidote that can deactivate him or bring him under his spell somewhat. He's got control over one of Cersei's main weapons. And you notice when the news came through that the dead were like walking past the wall and that, doing the creep walk like that, Qyburn told Cersei and expected her to be concerned, but she said, good. Qyburn didn't like that. And when Cersei decided to go and roll in the hay with Euron in that other hole where the Iron Throne is, Qyburn gave her a look. So there's a potentially risky situation for the murderous Cersei where Qyburn turns against her and turns Sir Gregor Clegane against her. So you've got Euron, you've got Clegane. But unlike Daenerys, her threats are more speculative in nature at this point, right? So that's Cersei. I think she's going to last longer than Daenerys Targaryen in the show. Maybe not by much, but she's definitely going to last longer. So expect to see her going through episode 3. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten to mention another of Cersei's threats is Sansa, the red-haired, blue-eyed shouty. Heard that Murder Sensei has got a child in her belly. And Sansa's got no love for Cersei, but what's that? Okay, the bike is gone. Like I was saying, Murder Cersei has got a child in the belly, and Sansa's got no love for Cersei, but Sansa's busy with Daenerys. etc. So if Cersei and Sansa are gonna clash, it's gonna be later on. That's why I'm thinking Cersei's got a bit of time left. Her main threat right now is Qyburn. Also, don't forget that Qyburn has been witnessing Cersei backstabbing people and turning on people and changing the goalposts on people, right? You saw Qyburn actually going to negotiate with that Bran dude, right? While I was in the brothel with those hot chicks. Those were some hot chicks, man. I wish that was me, but anyway, he negotiated with Bran to go kill Tyrion and Jaime, her own brother. So probably Qyburn is probably thinking, if she can murderize her own brothers, what's gonna happen to me? This might actually bring Qyburn to the foe as Cersei's main threat, and he's going to exercise the executionism via Clegane. But like I said, the threat is not as strong as Daenerys right now, but it's very close. And it's right under Cersei's nose. I mean, she is a calculating murderess, whatever, but you didn't know that the grandma Tyrell killed her son until the grandma actually let it out. So who knows, she might not be able to account for Qyburn. So Jaime is gonna die. I don't know when, probably the 5th episode, probably the 4th episode. He'll be lucky if he gets into the 6th episode. Why am I saying that? Because he came across that dude Bran, right? And Bran was acting all cool, so fresh and so clean, chilling in the seat, right? Jamie approached him and tried to make good and whatnot, but Bran was chilled. Why was Bran chilled? Because it's the all-seeing, but Green Seer, I don't know, wagging, whatever he does. Probably saw Jamie probably getting flayed in some wood somewhere, right? So he's cool with that. So the fact that Bran is cool with Jamie and let him into the whole system and is letting him fight, yet he knows that he tried to actually murder him at some point, can actually point to the fact that Bran knows that this dude is dying, because Bran does not really strike me as a very forgiving person. So Jamie's days are numbered. You can also look at the fact that Jamie wants to get killed by Cersei using Bran. Bran is someone that Jamie trusts, so I don't know how he's gonna act when Bran approaches him coming from Cersei's side, but that's another thing. Bran wants to kill Jamie. Why I think Sir Bran won't kill Jamie is because Sir Bran has been through a lot with Jamie and Tyrion. Yes, we know Sir Bran is a sellsword, but Jamie was actually paying something and it promised him things after the war. Whether or not Bran thinks Jamie can still deliver is another story, but I think maybe a castle and the likes is worth at least as much as Cersei is offering. And another thing to note is that Sir Bran has got a pact with Tyrion, where Tyrion told Sir Bran, if anybody ever sends you to kill me, know that I'll offer him double. I don't know what he thinks of Tyrion's bankroll right now and how much he's stacking up, but he might actually want to try to find out from Tyrion what he can actually offer him before he tries to kill him. So Jamie's gonna die, whatever reason, I don't know, but Bran is not gonna kill him. That's what I'm saying about that. It's the story and I'm sticking to it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so much about that. I've talked about characters I think are going to be making some moves, right? There's still some other characters I want to talk about. Now I want to talk about the conflicts, the beef. People are beefing all over the show. People are beefing for different reasons, but this beef is a beef you might not have seen coming. This is Jamie versus Tormund over Brienne. I gotta say, Brienne is big and strong, and she's got that mystery going on all about her. That she's untapped territory. So guys, when they see that, they want to go and open that up. So Tormund likes Brienne and he's always made it clear. Brienne doesn't like Tormund back because he ain't got swag. Jamie's got a swag thing going on about her. That pretty boy, he's got money. So Brienne is probably gonna be checking out for him. The story started when they were walking together. You could tell that there was a bit of chemistry there. Even in the tub, Jamie, I'm sure if he had made a move, he would have gotten somebody. He didn't. And what actually made Jamie the main candidate to sleep with Brienne in Game of Thrones is the fact that he knighted her. It's just like when you're both going for a chick and the other guy buys the chick a whip. You know who's going to win that battle because it's money and the power at the end of the day. And Jamie showed that he's got the money and the power by actually knighting Brienne. And you saw how she got caught up in that, got all emotional and started crying, how she was looking at him like, boy, just pick me up and take me to the bedroom right now. Right, even though Tormund acted like he didn't notice that, he probably noticed that. And when Jamie actually finally taps Brienne, like I think he's gonna do, I think Jamie and Brienne are gonna get busy. Right, when that finally happens, I don't think Tormund is gonna be too good with that because he's been talking about this chick, has been talking about tapping that ass for a long time. I think there's another way Jamie can actually go out the show at the hands of Tormund. And if Tormund is actually then killed after that, I don't know, some other stuff can happen there. So first potential clash is Jamie versus Tormund. The other potential clash obviously is Sansa versus Cersei. Sansa heard that Cersei is having a baby. She might want to go and check that, probably kill the baby or kill Cersei or both of them like that. I mean, if the witch's prophecy hadn't come out to be bullshit and Cersei actually had 4 kids instead of 3, would have thought that Sansa can actually come through and finish off that kid as a way of payback. Another potential area of conflict is Theon versus Yara. As you know, Yara doubled back to the Iron Islands to prepare a safe haven for Daenerys. I think Daenerys is going to try to use that escape route. Like, in the mafia movies where the boss tries to go through an alley and then gets popped in the alley, right? Anyway, Yara is protecting the Iron Islands for Daenerys, and Theon is gone to fight for Sansa. I'm sure he hadn't accounted for the fact that Sansa won't like Daenerys. So at the end of the day, Theon might actually do something to Daenerys or find himself on the opposite side of Yara, and I think maybe for the fans, Reek will win that one. Yeah, so that's another potential source of conflict there. Okay, so that's the most important, or I say most interesting conflict that I want to talk about. Other conflicts we've already touched on: Cersei versus Sansa, Cersei versus Euron, Cersei versus Jaime. What else can we look at that we haven't touched on? Of course, Tyrion versus Daenerys. Tyrion is busy getting chipped at by Daenerys. So they might clash there, but more importantly, Tyrion and Mormont. Mormont is not very happy at Tyrion's position, and they might actually be seeing a chance to win favor from the queen or to become the hand of the queen by messing around with Tyrion. But we all know who's going to lose. The Mormonts are probably going to be obliterated, the whole family, because Lady Mormont is going to fight. You know how that's going to end. And if Sir Mormont goes after Tyrion, you know how that's going to end. So those are the potential clashes that we are going to have. Now we want to talk about the dark horses, right? If you notice, the theme for everything I've been talking about to date has been everybody wants to get killed by a lot of people, right? Even Jon Snow, potentially Daenerys is on his ass, you've got Cersei on his ass, and a bunch of other things. My first dark horse is Varys, Lord Varys. Right, this guy, remember when he was talking to Baelish in that hallway, there's the Iron Throne. They both made it clear that at some point they want to get to the Iron Throne. Baelish died while actually trying to get that. The dude didn't see his hustle come to fruition. Rest in peace, gangster. But Varys is still alive, and ever thought of why Lord Varys got Tyrion to work with Daenerys? Your guess is as good as mine, but I think Varys is still in the game for a particular reason, and more importantly, he's flying under the radar. He doesn't have too many people in his case trying to kill him, you know what I mean, trying to cap him and stuff like that. And also, more importantly, Varys is focused, fully focused, right? Like a dude on that track. Why am I saying is focused? It's because he doesn't have a set of balls, and the fact that he doesn't have a set of balls means that he doesn't get sidetracked by attraction and love, right? Everyone else you're looking at who's contending is in love with somebody. Daenerys is in love with Jon Snow, vice versa, right? Cersei is in love with Jaime, has got a baby, and vice versa, messing with Euron. A lot of these unions are being manufactured in the bedroom. People are getting cheeky with it, come up with an alliance. Varys is handling his business without any of those distractions. So we're going to find out exactly why Varys got Tyrion to join up with Daenerys, and it's a loose end really. Varys did show interest in the Iron Throne, and right now he's flying under the radar, so he's one of my dark horses. The other dark horse is a girl who does not have a hymen. Yes, the girl got jiggy last week. More importantly is, why did I get jiggy with Gendry? Right? Yeah, you can say early on in the episode she was feeling him. She was looking at him like, you know, probably picturing the dude hitting her from the back, you know, ripping through her hymen and stuff like that. But did you see the way her face lit up when she actually discovered that Gendry has got a claim to the throne? Track back a bit, you know, Arya, even though she acts like some hardcore macho chick, really wants also to be like Sansa, lady of the whatever, right? Lady of Winterfell. So she might think that through Gendry, she can actually one-up Sansa and end up as the wife to the king sitting on the Iron Throne. I mean, the way her face lit up and the way she quickly took her clothes off like she was alone, maybe she's trying to get pregnant with Gendry. Right, so you might actually see in the later episodes Gendry going up and making a run for the Iron Throne with Gendry on her side. So probably don't be surprised if she gets pregnant with the dude. A lot of people are laughing at Gendry, saying Gendry doesn't know how to hit it right, because on that last scene Arya was like lying with the eyes wide open. It's because she was plotting. This chick was plotting and scheming. Okay, she wanted to know how it feels to get jiggy. I don't think so. She wants to get pregnant with Gendry, and now she's plotting on how to get Gendry going. So those are my two dark horses at this point in time. Arya / Gendry and Varys. Those people might make a move because they're flying under the radar. Nobody is really thinking about them, right? Arya also looking at that weapon, sidebar. That weapon I think is going to be used to kill the Night King. Yep. What would stop Arya from becoming a faceless walker? Nobody said that's not possible, right? She can somehow sneak into that camp. No one can get close to the Night King, because the Night King knows how his wretched ass, walkers look like, right? And his whites. What if faceless Arya can actually get close enough to the Night King? Don't tell me that's not possible, because you don't know. You didn't write the script. You're not R.R. Martin, right? And you're not HBO. But think of it. Arya might actually be the one who's going to kill the Night King, because she's got the technology and the attitude to actually get close to the Night King and, poke him with that funny thing that Gendry made. Why would she make that weapon? I think it's especially for the Night King, and it's like a spear, so she can get close to him, probably dressed like one of the whites. How she's gonna get their face, I don't know. No, actually she can't get their face. As long as she doesn't stab one of the whites with that dragon glass thing first, she can actually take the form of one of those and actually spare the king. So this is my analysis of the first two episodes of Game of Thrones, the gangster review. This is the critique, and even though you think that I'm being funny, you might actually see some of my predictions coming through. So for the review of the third episode, which is coming soon, since the third episode of season 8 of Game of Thrones is coming out very soon, you're gonna see me back with an update on my theories that I'm actually cooking up right now. So subscribe to the show. We don't only talk about Game of Thrones, talk about a lot of things of interest. I'm still just building the show. So subscribe in the option that's showing, and then we can continue